Hi friends, it's Shay. Welcome back to my channel. So I've taken 12 courses so far online, and I have 4 more courses this semester that I'm taking online. So I feel like I could say that I'm pretty used to online courses and I've learned a lot from my past courses. So in today's video, I wanted to share some of the struggles that I went through and some of the solutions to these struggles. So let's get started. The 3 main differences that I noticed between face-to-face classes and online classes is 1, most of the course components are asynchronous. You have to be even more disciplined and better at time management, and there is a bigger communication hurdle. So for each of these 3 problems, I wanted to offer some solutions that I've applied to my semesters. For asynchronous courses, I find that it's so easy to get lost in the semester and not know what to do during the semester. A solution I applied is that I scheduled a time to work on my online courses. In a normal semester, you would just go to class, stay in class, and then maybe stay on campus to do some homework. When you're just working from home and you don't have any synchronous lectures, you could just wake up whenever you want, work on things whenever you want, and if you're not used to working in such a flexible environment, you might end up not scheduling enough time for you to study, so you end up cramming for exams. It's so stressful to be cramming like 6 or 7 weeks of lectures into one night and try to do well on the midterm. So one thing I did is to schedule enough time every single day to be working on my schoolwork. I do this on my Google Calendar, which I have a video right here on how I use Google Calendar. But basically, I like to schedule a time to watch the lectures, do the readings, do the homework, and also work on assignments and papers that are due. So the second one is discipline and time management. Working at home is really difficult. You might have family members or roommates or friends living with you that are a little too noisy for you to be concentrating, and there might be a lot of distractions at home, like your fridge or the TV. You might be able to ask your family members not to make noise during the times that you're in lecture or when you have presentations, but if you're uncomfortable with doing that, you might be able to schedule your day around your household. If the people living in your household are making a lot of noise, let's say in the morning, it might be better off for you to wake up later on in the day and then work through the afternoon and nighttime. This way you're not intruding on someone else's life, but you're making your day work for you. Another tip I have is to find a space to study. I can't tell you to go and get a desk or use your desk because you might not even have one, but you want a designated area to study in. So worst case scenario, you have to study on the bed. Instead of studying in the same position that I sleep in, I try to study in a perpendicular position. So in my mind, it doesn't feel like I'm in this sleeping position because otherwise I would just want to go to bed. You can also find like a windowsill that's wide enough for you to put your laptop in and work there, or you could find a bookshelf to use as a standing desk. The purpose for you is to set a designated space for you to study in so you aren't distracted by a lot of other things. Another way to deal with distractions is to have a little distraction sticky note. So it could just be a piece of paper as well, but you basically keep it with you while you're studying or doing work, and then whenever things come up where it's like, oh, I need to remember to go take out the trash, you can just write it down so it doesn't interrupt your workflow, but you are making sure that those things do get done. And another tip for this section is to make sure that you're working in the time that works best for you. So if you're not a morning person, you don't need to force yourself to wake up early in the morning and do all these healthy habits that people tell you to do. I wake up at 7 a.m. and that's only because I have an 8:30 lecture, and if I don't wake up well before the lecture, I'm way too sleepy to be paying attention. And I also take the time in the morning to be able to preview my lectures. And honestly, if I didn't have an 8:30 lecture, I would probably wake up a little later on in the day. You should also understand what time you work best in. My energy is at its peak from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And during those times, I try to put in the most hardest and energy-consuming tasks. I find that if I don't intentionally schedule my day, I end up leaving the harder tasks at the end of the day, and I have so many reasons to be like, no, I don't really want to do it. So I need to make sure to put those tasks at the beginning of the day when I have more willpower and energy to do them. So for communication hurdles, I make sure that I have my TAs and my profs' emails on hand. I actually have this section in my planner where I write down all of the important information that I find on the syllabus, including their email. I also try to join club group chats on Facebook, which is great because if I miss a lecture or if I didn't understand what was happening in class, I could just ask my classmates beforehand before going to the prof, because it honestly gives me a lot of anxiety talking to the prof. I try to engage in these group chats because it can feel really isolating to be just working from home full time and not being able to talk or see your classmate. But let's not forget that we are in a pandemic year. Obviously, just taking online courses isn't the same as being forced to learn online because of a pandemic. The biggest lesson I've learned so far is that I need to be compassionate and kind to myself. I recently started watching this K-drama called Because This Is My First Life, and there's this really good quote from the first episode, which is, "We are all living this life for the first time." I think this is a really good reminder that it's okay not to know what you're doing. By watching this video, you probably care to change your situation, and that's amazing. But you have to remember that change doesn't come overnight. I had to go through so many online classes to really figure out how I work best online. You can't expect to change all in one semester. So even if you had an awful day or an awful week, you don't need to force yourself or punish yourself by working double as hard the next day or the next week. If you focus more on doing the best you can every single day, you'll feel a lot more fulfilled and you will see changes over time. As always, thank you so much for sticking till the end of the video, and I hope you have a sunny day.